Questions abound over the government's rationale behind leaving schools open amid a surge of COVID-19 cases in January 2021. Moreover, stakeholders within the education sector continue to echo calls for the government to rethink the resumption of classes, with news that 2 learning institutions and possibly more have been affected by the virus. NEMAC recently announced that the ban on the sale of alcohol for 21 days effective Wednesday, January 20th, 2021. The SLP spokesperson for education, Senator Guibion Ferdinand, says he fails to see the connection between the suspension of liquor licenses and the state of affairs at schools.
The opposition has spoken, the union has spoken, the students have spoken, administrators have spoken, various stakeholders have made serious recommendations. And what we have now is that in the schools, we have cases of students contracting the disease, teachers having issues with the health, and we have heard in at least one school, students have been sent home, albeit one class, which I think is absurd. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for to make a definitive decision about having putting this situation under control? I'm hearing debates going on right now about who caused the spread, the conversation about restricting the sale of alcohol in bars and so on. Is that what we should be focusing on now?
Guibion, in an interview with News Force on Wednesday morning, again implored the government to shut down schools immediately before the situation worsens.
Sometimes you have made a decision, but you can go back and say, I made a mistake. I think it is now we are at a stage where if the government does not act swiftly, we'll have a major crisis that we will not be able to manage. And so I think right now, everyone who had to speak has spoken, and the government has to make a decision now and take stock of what is going on. Schools should be closed and suspended, classes should be suspended, and let us take control of the situation. When the situation is under control and the conditions are favorable and safer, we can then decide we are going back. But for now, it is very, very clear what has to be done.
So, what would an SLP government have done differently? The spokesperson for education says it would first consider the advice of stakeholders. He adds that the SLP would put the health and safety of citizens first.
The early childhood administrators had indicated that they were not consulted. So there is clear evidence that this is not happening. The chief education officer, to her credit, has consistently reminded everyone that she is acting on the advice of the Department of Health. Now, if that is the position of the Department of Health, it means that the education sector is relying on their guidance. And so the Labour Party would not have guided the Ministry of Education in that way. It would have taken the responsible decision, although it may be difficult, and put the students' lives as a priority ahead of the issue of saving the economy and all of those things.
St. Lucia has recorded almost 200 COVID-19 cases in the past week, bringing the total count to 713. On Tuesday, the island was hit by a new record for the most cases in a single day, with 57 reported cases. Joachim Duplessis, HTS News Force.